All right. I'd like to call this Monday, November 21st meeting of the Union County Board of Commissioners to order. And if you would all please join me in the invocation. Lord, we thank you for bringing us here safely tonight and pray that you'll be with us as we make decisions for the citizens of Union County. Lead us and guide us in our decisions, and pray that you'll be with us and keep us safe as we all return home tonight. In your precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Next, we have employee recognition, and the employee recognition program acknowledges employees for full-time continuous service at the following intervals: 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 25 years, and 30 years of service. We would like to recognize the following employees for full-time continuous service with Union County local government. First, we have Christopher Little in the Sheriff's Office, 5 years. Emily Tetlow with the Sheriff's Office, 5 years. We have Willie Blackwell in Sheriff's Office, 10 years. Sharon Tucker, Sheriff's Office, 10 years. We have Carolyn Carter in Community Services, 15 years. Brian Wicker in the Sheriff's Office, 15 years. And Jerry Macemore in the Tax Administration for 20 years. We'd like to acknowledge those employees for their service and award those recipients for the month of November. Next, we have informal comments, and there's no one signed up for informal comments. So that will bring us to additions, deletions, and our adoption of the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
All right. Any discussion on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Next, the consent agenda.
Motion to approve consent.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. All right, that brings us to new business item 13, Human Services Building Update.
Yes, Commissioners, we have a number of items on this particular topic before you this evening, and Mr. BOCC is going to give you an update as it relates to the building, as well as the present facility that we're in, as well as some roofing needs that we have.
So again, the Human Services Building, we started construction on this project back in April of 2016. Just by way of refresher, you know, the architect is Perkins and Will, the contractor is Monteith Construction. The total budget for the project is some $42 million, of which the construction contract itself is about $24.3 million. The remainder of that budget is used for the land purchase, the design, and for the furniture, fixtures, and equipment that we have to put in. The project did come in significantly under our architect's estimate, so the estimate was about $30 million, came in at less than $25 million, so there is some cushion in this budget yet. But we still haven't purchased any of the furniture and equipment for this program. The estimated move-in date is somewhere around February of 2018. So the building, again, for the board's refresher, it's about 144,000 square feet of space. It's a 3-level facility, most of the space being on levels 2 and 3 with a partial ground floor. The site is over 30 acres, 400 parking spaces, and we have security on the site. Right now, we're projecting about 365 total staff that will move into this building on move-in date. It's programmed for 411, so that gives us some 10, 12%, 13% of growth. I think we've already grown past that 365 number as part of last year's budget. So there is some nominal growth space left into that building. Board will recall the site is at the confluence of Concord Avenue and Skyway Drive. It is this 30 acres that we picked up here. This was an aerial photo taken before we acquired the property. The building is laid out kind of in the center of the property. There's 2 main wings coming off of it, connected by a central section. Social services is on the northern side, and this is the full 3-story section. The land slopes in this direction towards the north, so we took advantage of the natural grade, using 3 stories on this side, essentially 2 stories, and a bit of a 3rd story down here, connected together. So public health on this side, social services here. A good bit of parking all the way around the facility. The facility is structured to have our employees all come in through Skyway, with segregated parking for employees on the back end of the building, which is not connected to the parking in the front, which is for our customers and clients. So that's what the construction site looks like about 2 months ago. And you can see the facility starting to come out of the ground. This is the foundation for the social services side. These towers are actually the fire exit stairwells, which is why they're concrete and a concrete block. And you could just see starting over here the foundation for the health department side. The lake that did exist, the pond that did exist over on this part of the property had to be drained because it was considered a high hazard lake, high hazard dam, so that's been drained. We have built a stormwater retention pond on this side. So this is about a month ago now. The previous site photo was about 2 months ago. This again is the social services side, the 3-story side. You can see the ground floor, 1st floor, 3rd floor coming up, the connecting piece, and the health department side coming in here. And you can see that 3rd floor only extends about halfway back. So this is what the entrance is supposed to look like from the artist rendering as you come in off Skyway Drive, the entrance for our customers. And this is kind of where we are as of just about a week or so ago, where the driveway is actually right off to here. You've got an open courtyard area here with a drop-off, a drive-through window on this side. This is the full height, 2-story height of the building. This was actually, I think, taken during the topping off ceremony last week, where they dropped in the last piece of steel and topped off the building structurally. So again, the artist rendering of detail, the front of the building. The back of the building is the employee entrance through this side, and again, full 3 stories high. What that's looking like right now, this is actually the side of the building going up on the social services side up towards Skyway Drive. Full 3 stories. The employee entrance will be back here, and they're already starting to put the siding on. This is, again, the wrapping around. This is the rest of the back of the building, and this is the side now going up for health department. And you can see it's 3 stories, just this one section here, and 2 stories for the rest of it. And then turning around to the front of the building again, this is that same corner coming up with the main entrance. The project is now about 40% complete in terms of time, about 40% of the schedule is now expired already from when we were scheduled to be complete. We've expended about 25% of the money. And first, that may sound alarming. Why didn't we spend 40% of the money and 40% of the schedule? Typical construction projects will start off a lot slower in terms of spend rate, because it's a lot cheaper to move dirt than it is to do fit and finish. So it typically follows an S-curve where you start off slow in terms of your expenditure of money, and now that the building is topped off structurally intact, you'll see that spend rate go up significantly and then taper off as you reach closure. So we're looking at a completion date again in right now February of 2018. Which brings us to the next issue then in terms of the project. We have a current lease for Union Village, and that lease expires in the end of December of 2017. So we have a projected completion date that will run us out past the completion date of our June 30th. I'm sorry. That's why I needed to pull that up on my computer also. So we have a completion date of January, February of 2018. We have a term on the lease that expires in June 30th of 2017. The lease, when it was entered into, anticipated the need to potentially extend that lease. So we have an option to extend that lease for year-long increments, and then it's still an ability to terminate at our convenience with a 6-month notice. So part of our recommendation on the second item is to authorize the manager to extend that lease for an additional 1-year period to allow us time to complete the construction, which will take up 6 months of that extension, and then as we're moving forward into that lease extension, determine when the most appropriate time would be to give notice in terms of when we actually want to terminate on that 1-year extension. So we're going to need that additional time to do that. The third item on the agenda deals with roof repairs to the social services side of the facility. And those roof repairs, as the board knows, we did a major renovation of the roof on the health department side as part of the lease negotiations. And as part of that lease negotiation, we repaired the roof on the health department side, got a cost reduction in our lease to compensate us for the investment we made in that roof. But part of that negotiation also then said, well, the county will assume responsibility for roof maintenance here on out. So the social services side has been a continuing challenge for us as we've moved forward here, and we've had a number of spot repairs. We brought in the same consultant that we've used on that project for roof issues over the last several years, and they've come up with what we believe is a good interim solution. A full roof repair on the social service side would be in the order of $400,000 to $500,000. They've come up with a full membrane finish on there. We think will add some good useful life to it, certainly beyond 2 to 5 years, and meet our obligation to maintain the roof, and more importantly, provide our employees there with a leak-free, dry environment to work in, and that's the third item on the agenda for the board's consideration. So the three items were just to update the board on the project, to ask you to authorize the manager to exercise our option to extend the lease on Union Village for 1 year, and then the approval of moving forward with the roof repairs, and I believe that was in the order of the item open in front of me of 140.
123,970.
Happy to answer
But
any
you did
questions.
request 142,566 with a 15% contingency.
Okay, so we see the action requested. Does anybody have a motion on the action requested by the manager?
I have a question. Does the roof repair exceed our obligation, or is that just meet our minimum obligation for the roof repairs?
I think I'll defer to Mr. Crook on this one, on the exact language of the agreement.
You mentioned a 2 to 5 year life. That's why I'm wondering.
Well, the lease, as I've read it, requires us to maintain the roof. So right now, the roof needs some significant maintenance, and our consultants come back and said spot repairs will not work anymore. All we're doing is chasing the leaks around the roof, so it needs a complete membrane. So what we're doing is doing a complete new membrane on the roof. What we're not doing is tearing it all the way down to the structure and redoing the insulation and the sloping and grading. We're keeping all that intact and are just putting a new membrane over the top.
So in your opinion, Jeff, this is the minimum that we need to meet our obligation?
For several reasons, Commissioner Simpson, I'd suggest if we have legal questions about this, we do it in closed session.
Okay.
I'd be glad to address your questions in closed session.
I guess my question is, does the board have any desire to go to closed session to have that question answered?
I mean, I would like to know the scope of the project a little bit more, please.
Okay. Then I would move that the board go into closed session for the following purposes: to consider, to consult with an attorney in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege, and to consider and give instructions, and along with GS 143-318.11A3. Is that good?
Aye. All right, I'll make a motion that we approve the construction, or what are we doing here? Authorize county manager to approve a 1-year lease extension at Union Village and authorize the county manager to approve the bid submitted by Piedmont Commercial to replace the roof system membrane on a portion of Union Village and adopt CPO number 193.
All right, any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. All right, that brings us to item 14.
As the board is aware, on the November 8th election, there were 3 different questions on the ballot as it related to capital improvement programs dealing with Union County, South Piedmont Community College, as well as Union County Public Schools. The item number 14 is a resolution stating that the Board of County Commissioners' intent concerning the $40,200,000 in South Piedmont Community College bonds and the $10,100 in Union County Library bonds. This is a initial step in declaring the intent of the board, as you see in the agenda abstract, and as the board is aware, those 2 issues were approved by a fairly wide margin of those voting in this election. And what the resolution does is provides direction to the county manager as to how to proceed. The first is to work with the president of the South Piedmont Community College to schedule a joint meeting of the Board of County Commissioners and their Board of Trustees in January of 2017 to discuss project plans, timelines, student projections, etc. To work with the president and his staff to develop a cash flow plan and appropriation schedule for the $40,200,000. To work with the president of the college and his staff, as well as appropriate library officials, to fully evaluate options relating to the possible co-location and operations of a new county library and other facilities of South Piedmont, and then to develop the appropriate bond issuance schedule and work with the local government commission as appropriate to issue the associated debt. And staff is available to answer any questions you may have.
Anybody have a question or a motion?
One clarification, and the manager, you and I spoke about this earlier today. I think there's some confusion about the placement of a library, or whether it will be with South Piedmont or not, and those decisions have not been made yet.
That is correct.
Is that correct?
That is correct.
Well, there seemed to be some confusion. I would add that in that process, because they heavily impact our municipal friends in the western part of the county, that we include them in the discussions to ensure that we do what's right for everyone in the county.
You want to add? You want to make a motion and add that to it, or?
I think it was just a point of discussion more than anything else, because I know that there's been a lot of misconception on the bonds, even to whether we were going to actually issue the bonds.
Well, and as the board is aware, at this point, this is very early in the process. The election just occurred. We have not taken any steps at this point in time to even identify where a potential location would be, nor am I aware that South Piedmont has taken any action as to where their potential campus would be. So that would be one of the initial steps as to, based upon availability, serving their population as well as the population we serve. So there's a number of steps that need to take place before something will be coming out of the ground.
But they will be recommenders to this board for
Yes,
decision.
yes, this board is the one that will make the final decision as it relates to the location of the library.
Make a motion to approve the resolution stating the Board of Commissioners' intent concerning $40,200,000 in South Piedmont Community College bonds and $10,100,000 in Union County Library bonds.
Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No.
Then item 15 is a similar resolution as it relates to the $54,020,000 in the Union County school bonds. Similar situation as it relates to working with the superintendent of the Union County Public Schools to schedule a joint meeting with the Board of Commissioners and the Board of Education in January to discuss the project plans and timelines, to work with the superintendent to develop a cash flow and appropriation schedule, and then to develop the appropriate bond issuance schedule in concert with the local government commission.
Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve the resolution stating the Board of Commissioners' intent concerning the $54,020,000 in Union County school bonds.
Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. All right, that brings us to the county manager's comments.
And I have no comments this evening.
Mr. Jerry Simpson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First off, I'd like to offer my congratulations to Commissioner Akmus and Commissioner Helms on their reelection, and look forward to continuing to work with them. And also to all the citizens in Union County to remember this week of Thanksgiving and take time to not only give thanks, but to slow down a little bit, spend some time with your loved ones, and enjoy the holiday. Have a good evening.
Commissioner Richard Helms.
Yeah, I'd like to express my appreciation to the citizens of Union County for allowing me to serve you for another 4 years. It's much appreciated, and I look forward to that challenge. Also, it's been a busy couple weeks since last we met, and I'd like to say Commissioner Lance Simpson and myself had an opportunity to attend the Warriors and Warbirds, and it was an outstanding show. The city of Monroe needs to be congratulated on an exceptional job, and we had the opportunity to recognize our veterans and our junior ROTC. And Michelle Mercano, for her outstanding job in coordinating this and working with our veterans on a regular basis. It's been some real fun times. Yesterday I had the opportunity to ride with Crime Stoppers, and I always appreciate our officers here, and they sit out there kind of straight-faced, but Officer Hill, I got to see you yesterday in a very festive mood. And who'd you catch? Got the Grinch. So he was a lot of fun for the kids. They really enjoyed him, and he did a great job, and it was a pleasure to ride that with you. And also wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving, and appreciate it.
Mr. Lance Simpson.
Just wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving.
Vice Chairman Frank Akins.
I just want to thank everyone for the opportunity to come back and join this board for another 4 years. I'm humbled by the support that came out, and very much look forward to continuing to serve. With that, I wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. And I also like to congratulate the both of you. I think that it speaks volumes for, I think Jerry Simpson was the first commissioner in many terms, I believe, to be reelected to a second term continuous, and for you gentlemen to do it as well, and in the fashion that you did, it speaks volumes of what the citizens believe in your service to the community, and I hope is a reflection on the other board members as well. With Thanksgiving coming up, hope that everybody has a great time with their families, and if you're traveling, be safe. We'll have our next meeting will be December the 5th, I believe, and we'll be choosing new leadership, and I just want to thank you all for allowing me to be your chairman, and I think again that this board has worked very well together. With that, we'll say good night, and make a motion to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?